Welcome to the Daybreak with Jeff Slakey podcast. I'm so happy you found us. Please subscribe, rate, review, and share this with your circle of influence. It's a collection of the interviews, news, and conversation during Daybreak with Jeff Slakey on I-Fiber One News Radio, KMAS, weekdays from 6 to 9. Well, it's Friday morning here, and good morning to you. Spencer, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing great, TGIF. How's it going with you?
Yes, indeed. And as we look to the weather conditions, it appears that maybe today by the afternoon, the advisories will be lifted. I know it keeps getting pushed, but it definitely appears to be getting better from yesterday. I actually saw, which was something new, when I looked up into the sun, you could see clouds, like the outline of clouds, which is something shocking.
Oh, yeah. And for a while, not that it's recommended, nobody's saying to do it, but, you just kind of instinctively looked at the sun, over the last week where it's just this weird orange-red. But you could look at it for a couple seconds longer. You're not supposed to.
It's very Tatooine-y.
Yeah, very, very. But now I noticed yesterday when I tried that, I had to turn away right away. So I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but it tells me something.
Maybe there's something there. I'm not a scientist either, but I'll agree with you there. Today on the show, we've got great guests and a bunch of them. Dr. Alex Apostle from the Shelton School District. We finish up our conversations about the Bikers for Babies today. Jen Capps and Jack Stark are going to be on the air with us. Also, Cindy Schatz and Cheryl Williams from the Mason County League of Women Voters talking about a vote registration drive that is tomorrow, and then National Voter Registration Day is coming up on the 22nd. So those great guests, plus local news and more information to start your day. But let's go back to what's going on with the weather.
Yeah, two unusual weather phenomena combined to create some of the most destructive wildfires the West Coast states have seen in modern times. First was a dramatic lightning storm over northern and central California. Thousands of bolts ignited hundreds of fires in parched grasslands and vineyards. Then warm, dry winds blew towards the West Coast, not the usual direction for the winds. 1 month after the lightning storm set the stage, firefighters are still battling these blazes. At least 34 people have died. About 5,300 square miles have burned this year in California alone. That's more than ever before, according to CAL FIRE. In Oregon, the figure is about 1,560 square miles, nearly double their 10-year average.
Since our last report here on Daybreak, Mason County Public Health notified of 2 additional Mason County residents testing positive for COVID-19. The total now 386 since March. Case investigations and contact tracing continue to help reduce the spread of COVID-19 in our community.
A U.S. judge blocked controversial Postal Service changes that have slowed mail nationwide, calling them a politically motivated attack on the efficiency of the Postal Service before the November election. Judge Stanley Bastian in Yakima said yesterday he was issuing a nationwide preliminary injunction sought by 14 states that sued the Trump administration and the U.S. Postal Service. The states challenged the Postal Service's so-called leave mail behind policy, where trucks have been leaving postal facilities on time, regardless of whether there is more mail to load. They also sought to force the Postal Service to treat election mail as first-class mail.
Well, we, in partnership with ABC News Radio, will provide live anchored coverage of the upcoming presidential debates and the vice presidential debate. The first one is going to be here before you know it. It is on the 29th, and it's going to be held at Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland. The start time for the debate is 6, but we'll have a little bit of a debate analysis, pregame show starting at 5 with a preview, and then a little bit of information afterwards as they talk about the debate. So that will be coming up on the 29th, and then there's 3 in October that we'll tell you about.
The Pac-12 university presidents and chancellors will meet today and be presented options for staging a fall football season. But Commissioner Larry Scott says a vote by the CEO group is not expected. A day after the Big Ten changed course from its decision to postpone fall sports and set a late October start for football, the Pac-12 appears headed towards a similar move. The Mountain West is trying to do the same, and there even seems to be some movement in the Mid-American Conference towards reconsidering a fall season. Meanwhile, Charlotte at North Carolina became the 14th FBS game to be canceled or postponed since August 26th.
Well, today and tomorrow again, more razor clam digging is available. All the dates are on our website, ifiber1newsradio.com. But marine toxin tests showed that the clams are safe to eat today. The tide is at 7:39, Long Beach, Twin Harbors, and Copalis. And then tomorrow at 8:19, Long Beach, Twin Harbors, and Mock Rocks. On Monday, Spencer, I'm going to be heading back over to the auditor's office to talk more about them on filming some video on making sure folks are with their new campaign to be vote ready. And so that's to kind of make sure that your voter registration is updated and accurate. So I'm going to be heading over there on Monday to talk with them. But this is kind of a cool thing. That's next week as well. A logic and accuracy test of the vote tallying system will be conducted on the 24th at 10 in the ballot processing room. That's their new elections office, 411 North 5th Street, behind the main entrance there. It's testing of the accessibility voting systems is going to be another test at that time. And it's open to the public, the candidates, the press, and kind of just shows how, when they put the ballot through and how it gets scanned and how the votes get tallied. So that's kind of a neat thing.
That's cool. Are you going to wear your hat with the little thing that says press on it? Where the feather goes? Remember the old school reporters?
One of those old school hats? No, but I got my knickerbockers on. It'd be like in the Newsies. Throw the newspaper.
Oh, man.
Again, today on this show, we continue our conversations about Bikers for Babies with Mason Health. We'll also have Dr. Alex Apostle from the Shelton School District and Cheryl Williams and Cindy Schatz from the Mason County League of Women Voters on talking about voter registration drives that are coming to an area close to you. It's all coming up here on the Daybreak Show. Good Friday morning to you.
From the iFiber One News Radio studios, you're listening to Daybreak.
Well, good morning, everybody. Jeff Slakey and Spencer Hughes here on the Daybreak Show as we welcome in on a Friday. It's Dr. Alex Apostle from the Shelton School District. Morning, Alex.
Good morning, Jeff. Great to be here as usual.
First thing I'm going to talk about is an event that's happening this afternoon, a big-time event. It's the graduation for Choice High School from the end of the school year last year.
You're right. And people are pretty excited about this, and I know Stacy and Amber, the assistant principal, and the staff are looking forward to it. We're going to have our school board represented, and I'm going to be there. And, we want to do the very best for our students that graduated this past year and have kind of a ceremony for them, which I think is very important. We're not sure if every single student can make it because after they graduate or after their final year, they kind of disperse to all corners of the earth. So we're just hoping that we get a good majority of them back.
Well, it's an important conclusion to that long time that they've spent behind the desk. And I just that's pretty cool that they're able to finally get that done. Let's update everybody on how the schools are doing with the remote learning in the K-12.
I think that we're making progress. Of course, there's still some, areas that we need to improve upon. And our secretaries in our schools and our administrators and teachers are reaching out to as many parents as possible to rectify any problems. But it's going to take a little while longer to make sure everybody is online and being supported. But we're doing everything possible, Jeff, to reach out to people to make sure that we're helping them. K-12 has established for our teachers centers that they can access to deal with various issues. And we have a special session. K-12 people are manning an office for elementary issues and an office for secondary issues. So we're reaching out to our teachers. I know our teachers are trying very hard and they're doing a great job, but there are things that take place, and we've got K-12 representation to help them.
I was looking online and I saw a picture, and although I can't independently confirm this, it kind of is an overarching theme about technological access, especially in Mason County. And the photo I saw was a young man outside kind of near a Wi-Fi hotspot. And it was, a cold morning. This is a tough thing as we move into the fall. And I know that the directives come down from the governor and from the superintendent of public instruction, but what are we going to be? How are we going to help out some of these kids with access and things like that?
Well, we're doing everything possible. We're providing them with Chromebooks. We're trying to reach them in a variety of ways. We're working with the PUD. They're doing all they can, and so is the school district. But I'm telling you, this is a major issue to make sure that everyone has the ability to connect to the internet. It's huge, and it's not going to be solved in 6 months or a year. It's a real detriment to everything that we're trying to do. But I can assure you the school district is doing everything possible along with the community.
Are there conversations now that school has been in for a few weeks around the state that people are having and saying, we are noticing dips in performance or dips in attendance in these specific categories or with students with special needs? And Superintendent Reichdahl, Governor Inslee, can we talk about some ways that we can safely bring those kids in, or how's that working?
Well, our schools are already reaching out to students that have special circumstances. That's going on as we speak. And we're going to initiate the planning of bringing our kids back to school in some fashion. We have, for example, the elementary principals have started to discuss how we can bring K-2 students back to school in some fashion in a hybrid manner. But we're paying attention, of course, to the reports that are coming out from the health department and from the governor and OSPI. We have to take all that into account as we move forward to do everything we can to bring our kids back into school face-to-face. That's very important, and the community will be receiving information as to our planning to make that happen here very, very soon. At our school board meeting next Tuesday, or this coming Tuesday, we're going to be talking about the opening of school and some of the issues that people are concerned with. So I would encourage parents and families that are interested in finding out what's happening in our school district currently and what's going to happen in the future to tune in to that board meeting. But we are on top of everything that we need to be addressing to make sure that we're providing the very best that we can for our kids and for our families.
So do you have a lot of conversations too with the other school districts around and how the feeder schools are doing as they move through the first parts of their school year too?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, this morning, I met with our non-high school district superintendents, and we're going to be coming together on next Friday, the 25th at 11 o'clock to discuss developing an overall plan for bringing our students back to school face-to-face under any and all conditions. We want to be consistent in terms of how we approach bringing our students back to school. So we're going to be spending time together as superintendents, and then we're going to, of course, involve our school board and the community in developing and finalizing those plans. We want to be consistent. How
has COVID put an impact on some of the long-term school district plans? I know with the different academies and things like that.
Well, in terms of Shelton, we're moving right ahead with our academies. In fact, our manufacturing, engineering, and technology academy, we're going to actually build a facility that should be up and running by the fall of 2021. We're moving steadily ahead with all programs. With our new high school, our Cedar High School, we're not slowing down. We're moving forward. And that's thanks to the staff and to the administration in our school district.
And again, the Choice High School graduation is this afternoon, so there will be some traffic impacts in downtown Shelton. I'm going to be planning on being there right around the start to kind of do some live video on our Facebook page. So I'll see you down there, and thanks for being on the air this morning.
You bet. Thank you, Jeff. Looking forward to seeing you later this afternoon.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFiber One News Radio.
Well, good morning, everybody. Jeff Slakey and Spencer Hughes here on the Daybreak Show. Got two great guests to talk about some upcoming events when it comes to voting. Cindy Schatz and Cheryl Williams are with me from the League of Women Voters of Mason County. How you doing?
Very well.
Good to see you both. Good to see you both for sure. You can head to the League's website at lwvmasoncounty.org. And we'll put the links to that as well in the Facebook page too, in the links in the show notes. So Cindy, let's start with you. How have things been with the League and what you guys have been up to?
Well, as you know, the League has always been very, very active in Mason County, and we have adapted to new conditions this year using Zoom for committee meetings and our meetings, and wearing our vote face masks when we go out. And we haven't had very much face-to-face action in all this time.
Have you found that you're getting more participation, at least in this kind of virtual meeting format? More folks are saying, well, if I don't have to, drive for a half an hour, I can sit down after dinner or at the meeting time and log in and listen and learn, and then get a better sense of if I want to participate.
It's a mixed bag on that because our county is so big and rural. We have a number of members whose internet does not support, being at Zoom meetings very well. So there's some people we've missed entirely, and there are others who just are not comfortable with the technology. So, there's been some pluses and some problems, and it certainly makes us more aware of doing some lobbying with the appropriate people about internet access across the whole county.
Yeah, this pandemic has really shone the light on the need for broadband internet for every person. I mean, it really has become one of those necessities of life. Mm-hmm. Cheryl, we've got some voter registration events coming up. One's coming up this Saturday, and then one is next week for National Voter Registration Day. Tell me about these.
Well, like you said, League of Women Voters Mason County will have a drive-by voter registration at Pioneer School parking lot. That's going to be this Saturday, September 19th, for 6 hours from 9 to 3. And here you can have new voters. They'll be able to register, and current voters will be able to update their registrations if you've moved or changed your name, gotten married. Next one is on Tuesday, September 22nd, and we'll have a drive-up voter registration at Neyland Park from 2 to 5 p.m. It's same thing there. So we'll have two opportunities for voters to do that. And National Voter Registration Day is a nonpartisan day held across all 50 states to celebrate our democracy. It was first observed in 2012. Nearly 3 million voters have registered to vote on this day since then. That includes 1.3 million who registered in 2018 to 2019 alone. Upwards of 20,000 volunteers were engaged each year. The purpose of this is to educate Americans about how to register and to share information about voting in each locality. So this year, in Mason County, we are handing out flyers with locations of the ballot boxes across the county and information about correctly filling out the ballot and signing the envelope.
As people get ready to go to Pioneer on Saturday or Neyland Park on Tuesday, what do they need with them? If it's a drive-through, I'm assuming they have their driver's license, which is a good piece of identification. What else, and how are you working with the distancing and protocols?
Excuse me, Cheryl, our people will have on their masks, and they're going to have some complimentary masks available for those who might need it. Mm-hmm. Cheryl, go ahead and talk more about that.
Well, we actually have a really good system down. We've been doing this National Voter Registration Day for years, probably since 2012. And we've got the whole system down. So I don't know exactly what they have planned, but I do know that it's going to be as safe as possible.
Okay. And so
really, all a voter would need is their driver's license for the number on that, or if they don't have that, the last four numbers of their Social Security.
Okay.
That will work as well.
Very nice. And I know over the last, 2 years or so, Washington has really stepped up its efforts to help with voter registration and the different elements like even same-day registration on that. So the League of Women Voters of Mason County is putting on a couple drive-through voter registration events. One is this Saturday from 9 to 3 at the Pioneer School parking lot. And then on Tuesday, which also is National Voter Registration Day, Neyland Park from 2 to 5. And that's for those 18 and older now, Cindy and Cheryl, or is there some opportunities for people to get pre-registered if they're not quite there yet?
Yes, 16 and 17-year-olds can pre-register. And then that would be held in the county auditor's office. Mm-hmm. And on their 18th birthday, they would become voters immediately, wow. which is really great in our state. Really helps people to register. And I just wanted to share that since 2016, our county has increased registered voters by over 4,000 registrations.
That's great in a county that already voted well and just 60,000 or so. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is. So, it's great that people in our county are voters, and we really want to encourage it.
It is great, and it's great, too, that we have so many of those drop boxes around the county. Again, Cheryl, you're going to have some documentation, a pamphlet or a piece of paper at least with those locations for folks on Saturday and Tuesday?
Yes, we will.
Cheryl Williams and Cindy Schatz from the League of Women Voters of Mason County getting ready to get you registered Saturday and Tuesday. You can always find out more at lwvmasoncounty.org, and the links are on the show notes to their Facebook page as well. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
From the iFiber One News Radio studios, you're listening to Daybreak.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Jeff Slakey and Spencer Hughes here on the Daybreak Show. All week long, we've been talking about a great upcoming event. It's Bikers for Babies. It's coming up, and it's going to be at the Bremerton Motorsports Park. We've been talking all week about the different aspects of this and the background of it. We've been talking with the folks who thought of the whole plan. And this, as I bring in Coach Jack Stark and Jen Capps again to the conversation. First off, Jen, good morning. And Jack, good morning. Good to see you. Talk with you.
Oh, nice to be here. Nice to talk with you guys.
We
good to be here, Jeff. Thanks.
Have been talking about this Bikers for Babies event, and I know that it has been kind of on the back burner and almost ready to go as an addition to the fundraisers that we've become so used to, including the golf tournament and Fantasy Forest. But unfortunately, we're doing this Bikers for Babies as one of the sole fundraisers this year. But that doesn't mean that you, Jack, are not helping out with this in regards from the folks from the golf tournament. Let's talk a little bit about how we're shifting gears. Jen, let's start it off.
I'm just really thrilled that the community is coming together to support, Mason Health and the foundation. Obviously, for many, many years, for more than a quarter century, Jack Stark has been our illustrious and very famous chair of, the Quality Care Open Golf Tournament, and we would truly be lost without him. And then with the onset of the pandemic, it's been really a challenge to, host these events, because we want to keep everyone healthy and well, but we still want to provide some support through the foundation to Mason Health for equipment that will keep quality care and high quality care here in Mason County. And so, we have an opportunity to work with the golf committee under Jack's leadership, in addition to the Bikers with Babies steering committee to help bring that to fruition. And Jack's been a major part, and so have his committee members, and so have the sponsors of the golf tournament have been a major part of making that happen.
You know, Jack, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what event, as long as we're getting some good money in to help out the hospital, right?
Oh, absolutely. And it's really terrific for these various groups, the Indian Motorcycles of Bremerton, the Indian Motorcycle Riders Group, number 2047, and the Brothers Passports. I mean, it's really terrific for them to step up and help out in lieu of the fact that we weren't able to go ahead with the golf tournament this year. They're stepping up and really making a great contribution for us.
It's from 9 to 2, starting at the Bremerton Motorsports Park. It is upcoming this Saturday, 7500 Southwest Old Clifton Road in Port Orchard, then takes you all throughout a beautiful tour of Mason County. And this fundraiser for Mason General Hospital Foundation presented with Indian Motorcycle of Bremerton, Indian Motorcycle Riders Group 2047, like you mentioned, Jack, and Brothers Power Sports. You a rider at all?
No, I did once when I was in high school.
Well, I'll count it.
All right.
That's one more than me. So $20 for an individual, $30 for a couple. That's two riders on one bike. And Radio Fryer is going to be out there with some food options for folks as a Bremerton Motorsports Park. And this is a big event. And it is tough, Jack, that we weren't able to have that celebratory, that fun golf tournament that you've been a part of for so many years. But hopefully by next year, this will just be one of the three big fundraisers for the hospital and the foundation.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, we're looking forward to that.
Well, yeah, and I think, Jack brings such a level of expertise and such a following, being, one of the, pillars of our community that, he's put so much of his time and energy, into developing a stellar event that, we definitely want to keep that, event going as much as we can. We have had to put Fantasy Forest on hold. And, I just think, as we look at doing, our fundraising, I just wanted to, point out that, Sterner Corporation has stepped up to provide a $5,000 corporate donation, and Electrocom Communications has also stepped up to give $1,500 in corporate sponsorship. So we've had a lot of the tried and true, individual donors, anonymous donors, and private donors, as well as corporations, step up to help fund this, as well as all the writers that are, saying they're interested in social media and signing up and saying they're interested. So, we're just, thrilled that the total funding need of $37,950 that we're looking at is going to, be funded by this event and other donors that are going to step up, between, the ride and October. So just to let folks know, the fetal telemetry unit is going to be funded by the Bikers for Babies, the abdominal probe, and then the modular storage units are going to be funded, with dollars from Mason General Hospital Foundation and the Golf Steering Committee donors. So we're just excited, to have all that happen.
Very cool, and it's gonna be a big, fun inaugural event. Bikers for Babies. It's coming up here. It's $20 an individual, $30 for a couple. You can still register at masongeneral.com or at Brothers Power Sports in Bremerton. Lots of opportunities to get out there and go for a ride and help raise some money for great causes at Mason General Hospital and the Foundation. Jack Stark, Jen Capps, always good to talk with you both. Thank you so much for listening to today's Daybreak with Jeff Slakey podcast. Again, I'm so happy and honored you found us and chose to listen. Please subscribe, rate, review, and share this with your circle of influence. It's a collection of some of the interviews, news, and conversation during Daybreak with Jeff Slakey on iFiber One News Radio KMAS, weekdays from 6 to 9. Thank you so much again, and talk with you next time.